Alright everybody, we have our first game. Actually, it's the best of one, so it's also going to be the only game. And we have TeamLiquid going up against We Are Not Prepared, yet the End of the Storm Europe qualifier. It's a semi-final, and Khaldor is once again the map. We Are Not Prepared is of course a bit of an old school team. I mean, it was an all-Spanish team in the past, and a lot of the players then find themselves now in TeamLiquid. Actually, at this point, it's only the brothers that are left. But it's still pretty interesting to see that we have the Spanish team back. As far as I'm aware, Falcon is actually playing for them. ETC is being banned out first now, and Abatha. Now that leaves Tyrande open, and this is a really interesting start into the draft. And what it showcases is again that ETC is currently just moving straight through the entire. Like ETC is getting more and more important the more games we see with him. The Divine Shield Uther into ETC is actually like something that is extremely strong and that is being played a lot right now. But ETC banned out in this case early on. And even a Khaldor being picked right away by We Are Not Prepared, and that leaves Tyrande open. So Tyrande for TeamLiquid is a very high chance that we're going to see her. And now the question is, what are they going to play with that? I mean, they could go into a Muradin here for the extra stuns. I was even thinking that they might go for Sonya, and I'm actually pretty sure that we are going to have at some point Sonya either taken or banned out. I haven't really seen any games of We Are Not Prepared, so I'm not really familiar with their playstyle. That Khaldor's opening for them was strong. They could go into something like even a Tassadar here if they wanted to. Sonya is still out, so Tassadar, Sonya, good picks to take. There's also that Uther that you might want to claim. I suppose they are going to ban Jaina. Uther already taken, I like that. Jaina is most likely going to be banned by We Are Not Prepared, so that TeamLiquid doesn't get her. But Jaina is oftentimes actually being a bit disregarded these days. I would like the Falstad actually for them, to be absolutely honest, because I feel TeamLiquid is going to grab Falstad if they can. He's incredibly strong in general since the patch. Was strong before the patch already, but that shift around with the talents on level 1 and level 4 made him even better. And Khaldor is a map where he can also steal bosses, so I feel they're going for something different. They can go for a frontliner, but I feel Falstad would be a very cool addition to their setup, because if they don't take him now, I'm pretty sure that TeamLiquid is either going to ban him or they will take him themselves. And yeah, so if you want to have Falstad, this is probably the time to take him. And he is a great addition to basically every setup that you can imagine, since he gets so much damage over the course of the game and then has the utility thanks to the Mighty Gust too. We Are Not Prepared is actually like running that time pool really low at this point. And apparently deciding about these things. It's a Reyna instead. Now that I find interesting. I really feel that the better choice would have been a Falstad, but they decide to go for Reyna, which has great zoning capabilities here. TeamLiquid don't have to ban out Falstad anymore, so they can instead ban a frontliner. They themselves have Muradin. There's an ETC. They could, for example, say they ban out Tyrael. I'm not 100% certain if they're going to pick Tyrael in the setup that they are using at this point. But if they don't try to pick him, they most likely try to ban him, since We Are Not Prepared would be able to negate a lot of the damage that TeamLiquid can dish out in a short amount of time with a good sanctification. So a Tyrael ban would be very solid. Keep that Tassadar also in mind. It's still a strong hero. You have, first of all, a bit of zoning capabilities thanks to the Storm that helps with the cancels on the Tribute. You can at the same time then also use him for the Vision with the potential mental acuity. And we could still see... There's the Tyrael ban, as I said. I like it. We could still see that Sonya. So I could see We Are Not Prepared with a ban on either Falstad or Sonya at this point. A Tassadar would work well with especially Sonya, so they might even think about banning him out. But I really believe that Sonya or Falstad would probably be the preferred bans at this point. Then again, there's Jaina. I've been talking about her earlier for the damage, but it is Falstad that they ban, and I think that's smart. Jaina is strong, she's scary, but I personally feel that Falstad is just a bit better, and so he's banned out, and I think this is a very good choice on the side of We Are Not Prepared. It allows TeamLiquid still to go into Sonya, so I feel that Sonya is what we are going to see for them. Unless they want to play that Charism style again, where they go into damage Charism. After the last patch, you can use that with the Iron Fists on level 1, since you have now a 25% damage increase on the level 1 talent on Iron Fists. So they could even run both, to be honest, thinking about it right now. But they can go into Sonya Tassadar, for example. They can go into that damage Charism. And there's Sonya. Are they going to run the Tassadar with it? Or are they going to do something a little bit different? Keep also, of course, Jaina in mind. Jaina, together with the Tyrande Muradin, is also very strong, and they still need someone in the backline that can deliver a bit of damage. They don't have a hero yet. If they don't go for a Jaina here, I think it's kind of likely that they use a Vala for that purpose. So these heroes are most likely what we're going to talk about right now. And they still have an option to use next to Tyrande Charism. Even if they run that Charism with the damage build, he gives you some amount of heal. It's not amazing heal, but it's still pretty solid and significant. But it is that combo that I'm mentioning first. It is that Sonya Tacita setup that they have now. And I suppose that for the last pick, we could see that Jaina, we could see Avala. There's a few options of what they could run with, and I feel like it's going to be them trying to react to what We Are Not Prepared picks now. And We Are Not Prepared, they can... Well, first of all, they need a front line. I mean, duh. That could be... Actually, thinking a bit about it. On Europe, we don't really have a high focus on Nuborak, which I personally actually kind of like, since he is very annoying at the front line with all the stuns, but he's not usually played on Europe. So we have other heroes available. There could be a Johanna, for example. There could be an Arthas as well. They have a bit of lockdown. They have the sustain that they need. Stuns would be kind of nice here, and Johanna fills that role quite nicely with the Condemn and also the Blessed Shield. It helps against Sonya. And maybe even that Leoric in here wouldn't be too bad for them. They can try to use him to just like go through the opponent, just move in, try to use that skeleton swing. So Leoric in combo with the Johanna would also give them a lot of lane clear. I really feel like the second frontliner is what We Are Not Prepared is going to go for. They have, of course, options. I mean, we've been talking a lot about Sylvanas lately, which is a nice addition to a lot of setups as well, since you can just make your opponent completely helpless for a couple of seconds. Helps you to retreat, helps you to engage. But We Are Not Prepared is definitely in lack of somebody else who can deal with Muradin and Sonya at the front. But they go for Avala. Wow, that gives control thanks to the Frost Shot on level 13. But that's a super aggressive setup. That's theoretically also two heroes that have access to Giant Killer on level 13. Even if you go for like an arrow build or anything else, you can go for Giant Killer. TeamLiquid. Now that's going to be really interesting. Is it going to be the Jaina that they choose for the burst damage with Blizzard? Or are they simply saying, hey, if you go this aggressive with the lineup that you run here, we are going to drop another melee. And they're going to set another one in motion. And just jump your backline the entire time with Tyrande going for an owl build. Tacita delivering a bit of the damage, but mostly caring about the Kala's Embrace as his level 7 talent. That's definitely something that they could now do. It's the Sylvanas! Alright. Not quite what I expected as the setup, but as I already said just a second ago, she's a hero that we have to keep in mind. She's very strong, and she is getting more and more popular, so TeamLiquid is actually playing it with the Sylvanas instead. And that showcases once again how Jaina is starting to really fall off. In the last few days, Jaina wasn't even picked that much anymore, and usually he was like she was a first pick, together with Tyrande and Muradin for the damage, but now with the new scaling, Jaina is actually falling off, and we have Sylvanas, even before that, coming back into the game. So pretty cool setup for both of the teams, and of course we're going to be ready with the match in just a second to find out if TeamLiquid takes it or if We Are Not Prepared is able to eliminate them here in the semifinal of the End of the Storm. The semifinal at the End of the Storm semifinal. Well, I kind of said that twice. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So we are at the End of the Storm. It is the semifinal indeed, as I mentioned a few times already. We have Cursed Hollow as our map, and it's TeamLiquid versus We Are Not Prepared. Old school style here. To the left side of the map, we have Lowell on Sonya for TeamLiquid, Vortex on Tyrande, Lucifer on Muradin, Chris on Sylvanas, and Gerd Amherd is playing Tacita for the team. To the right side of the map, it's a bit of nostalgia that we're meeting here. Kilachino on Vala for We Are Not Prepared, Hiruke on Kel'Thas, Tidaka on Johanna, Polato on Uther, and Falcon is playing Reyna. You're probably familiar with a lot of these names. It's an all-Spanish lineup once again, and back in the days they were playing with We Are Not Prepared, and then of course things changed a lot in the Heroes of the Storm scene. That was back in Alpha, and then from Alpha to Beta and also to the full release. We had so many changes with players just shifting around. A lot of the Spanish players were playing then with TeamLiquid. And just in general right now we have so much rotations happening, especially after Prague of course. Blizzard locked down the teams before BlizzCon happened, and all of the teams that qualified either for the regional qualifiers or for the BlizzCon event itself were not allowed to switch out players, which resulted in a massive aftermath. Just, yeah, all of the teams more or less disbanding or switching around a massive amount of players. I think G2 Esports was the only exception. And therefore, we have now a lot of players that are not part of the big teams anymore. And they've found themselves together again and are playing now as We Are Not Prepared, which was the old school team that started the entire Spaniards hype. Because let's face it, in Heroes of the Storm, the Spaniards are, like, the Spanish players are incredibly good. They're the new Swedes, if you so want. I mean, Sweden has been good in esports in every single game that they ever touched, and they are still very good in Heroes of the Storm. But in Heroes of the Storm, there's a huge Spanish community, and a lot of players that come from Spain and are incredibly powerful. Not only on the side of We Are Not Prepared, but if you look, for example, on the side of TeamLiquid, then we have Vortex and Lucifron, the two Spanish brothers that have been playing, in esports on a professional level since Warcraft 3, which dates back 10, 12 years. With the build, or with the game that we have now in front of us, it's still a best of one. And I've been talking a bit about that entire setup that we are seeing for We Are Not Prepared. Oh, stun into stun, but not dropping Falcon yet. Yeah, I've been talking about that setup a bit, and we are actually seeing exactly these builds for Vala that I've been mentioning. Vala is heading into an arrow build, and that means that she will be able to go into the level 13 Giant Killer. And that helps a lot against Muradin and also, of course, against Sonya if they want to. So in theory, they have already two heroes as damage dealers, range damage dealers, that can on level 13 go into Giant Killer and put even more pressure onto the front line of TeamLiquid. TeamLiquid themselves now with an Owl build on Tyrande, which isn't really too surprising if you think about the map that we are playing here. First Hollow, you need to channel the tributes, and if you have then not only Empower, of course, with the cooldown reduction, but also then Pierce, you can basically guarantee that you will always be able to just hit a few of those Owls and interrupt the tributes. Or the tribute channel. Normally we see even the battle momentum taken to level 7 with this particular setup, and that makes the whole thing even more annoying. So that's something that We Are Not Prepared can look forward to once that the tributes spawn, and that's happening right now. We have also Reverberation build taken against the auto attack heroes that we're seeing on the side of We Are Not Prepared. It makes it a whole lot of sense. And the move straight into the Leeching Plasma on the side of Tacita, since of course it's going to be super important for him to support Sonya as much as he can. And Lowell is playing Sonya here, and he will have to, they will have to rely on his damage a lot during this game. Again, already interrupted up here at the top. We have, at the same time, though, Johanna in a bit of trouble here. She's moving away. She was, by the way, the the main figure in the latest Cardboard video about Heroes of the Storm, which was absolutely awesome. I mean, those videos are always a lot of fun, but this one was pretty cool. That Johanna just didn't care at all. Poor Diablo, by the way. But yeah, so far we have both of the teams soaking experience. It's the first tribute for TeamLiquid. We have also on level 4 now the Laws of Hope taken for Johanna. So no Eternal Retaliation has been taken here. We could still see the Conviction taken on level 7 or the Battle Momentum if we are talking a bit about the reduced cooldowns. Ah, there's an attempt. Nice. Lucifer was already about to jump on the spot, but then we saw that quick quality lapse by Hiruka. A player that we've also seen, of course, for Team Rocket at the time. We have Tidaka in there. He switched through a few of the teams. Great frontliner. He has an amazing tutorial, by the way. That hero was banned out in this particular game. They hit level 7 a bit faster, and that already brings us to the Fission Bombs for Kel'Thas. We have Battle Momentum as expected for Johanna, and indeed the repeating arrow to just round up the arrow build that we're seeing on the side of Vala. When it comes to TeamLiquid, they're of course going to rely heavily on that stun in general. Sylvanas is allowing them to just push in with the boss, and that's so much pushing power that you have if you're able to catch a boss. It's pretty incredible. On level 7, Kala's Embrace has been used for Tacita, a really important talent for him to take. Stun misses, and we don't see Battle Momentum. It's the Lunar Blaze instead, so it's more about the stuns here that they are having a focus on. Vortex still missed it though, and therefore Lucifron didn't even have to move in since they already realized they couldn't make this happen. But right now we have both of the teams going straight for the for the tribute again, and it's still a slightly inexperience for the Spanish team, for the full Spanish team, but only ever so slightly. So right now, Chris with the attempt to channel it. Right now we are not prepared in a position where they don't necessarily have to fight for it, and they don't. Tribute is channeled, the second one for TeamLiquid, and that will force We Are Not Prepared, the Illidan's, to go straight for Tribute number 3 once it spawns on the map, or they will be cursed. And that's of course something that they try to avoid as much as possible. Getam here at the bot lane, Tidaka, everybody is currently in position. Vala actually taken out, got caught here in the middle, and was immediately taken apart by TeamLiquid. So yeah, job well done by them. And we have now the exact situation that I've been talking about earlier. Momentum for TeamLiquid, and the top lane is attacked. Sylvanas is moving in, and with that trade, easily disabling the towers. And this is of course not only the first tower that falls, it's going to be tower number 2 too. And that means we have a lot more experience now for them. They take the lead, they not only negate that advantage that we saw for We Are Not Prepared, but they even take a slight lead over their opponent. Falcon under constant pressure in the mid lane. But Tidaka is starting to come in and help out, and drops him out of the whirlwind, so Lowell will have to run away here. but he has delivered some solid damage to Falcon. Hiruka, rotating in too, was looking for a gravity lapse. Didn't hit that. That owl nearly hit him though. And now the level 10s are going to come into play for both of them. To the left side, we are already seeing the Force Wall. We have the Wailing Arrow. There's the Avatar, Shadowstalk, and Wrath of the Berserker. 12-second cooldown on the Force Wall. Basically means you can drop that whenever you want to. And keep that tribute here in mind. That's tribute number 3. Both of the teams are on level 10s. That should give us the Hyperion for Falcon, and indeed it does. There's also Phoenix and Strafe already being committed to. Killer Chino can drop a lot of damage with his Vala if he's not interrupted. The Blessed Shield for Johanna, and they are starting to move in. There we have once again the Divine Shield. Everybody is just like trying to zone for this one. And nice Force Wall. Oh, and there we have the Phoenix zoning a potence already on the side of the Spanish team. They are trying to get this one. TeamLiquid is moving around. They are dragging this out for as long as they can. They know that Phoenix is going to be back in 30 seconds, but at this point, they can go in. They trap 2 of the heroes. A lot of damage already being popped immediately upon Uther. And also Vala, they are jumping in as we speak. But there's the gravity lapse against Lucifer, who gets healed in the last second by the 2 healers. But still, the Storms are doing so much work. It's that Hyperion, on the other hand, that's really the problem that TeamLiquid is facing right now. And they dropped them so low. They didn't lose a single hero, but these guys were all so close to dying. To me, it's really a surprise that we didn't see Muradin die. It really looked like he would drop, but then we had that heal on Tyrande. Vortex helping his brother out. The tribute still ended up in the hands of We Are Not Prepared. And of course, now Chris is rotating down to the bot lane again. Hiruka dropping, but that gives us a chance to talk a bit about the talents and also the position in the game. 2 tributes against 1. We have already Chris on the way down to the bot lane. Everybody else is up here at the top. And it looks like they are trying to go for boss, which I don't really feel they can. Yeah, they can do. I mean, like, right now it looks a little bit more like they're attempting to go for it, but Tyrande is going to hit an owl sooner or later to double check what they're doing here. So Vortex should be able to just, like, see if they're going for boss or not, and then the team can rotate. To the bot lane, we have Chris already moving straight into the lane, and he can just like burst this entire wave away. He has, of course, on level 7, unstable poison, and he's very much alone on the map, but on the lane down here. But he can go through at least the tower here at the top. That will give them even more experience. They already have a slight lead. It all depends on the moves that we are seeing now for the opponent's team, because if We Are Not Prepared decide to go for boss, then, well, Chris will eventually have to turn around and go up to the top lane, unless, of course, the team decides to simply just move down and take the second boss at the same time, which is something that they could definitely do. But yeah, we have still here, Gedamhead is back. We already have Lucifer on the way back, so nobody has to heal up. Tyrande is a little bit low on mana, but it's still like half health, so it shouldn't really be a big issue. When it comes to like the damage now overall, we see Sylvanas once again committing a whole lot to the team fights here with 10,000 damage already dished out. Only Reyna and Vala are currently ahead. And these two with their single target damage are going to be pretty brutal later on for Muradin. And that's of course the big problem that we're really talking about when we have so many damage dealers on the side of a team. It's interesting to see that we have still in the European scene a lot of matches that start us off with 3 warriors. We've seen a game today with 4 warriors, right? With 4 melee heroes. But in this case, it's still a single warrior that they committed to, and that's both sides. Well, I guess Sonya is also a warrior, so in this case, it is a double warrior setup. I always see her more as a bruiser or a melee assassin, but we have that Johanna solo on the side of We Are Not Prepared, and that of course helps them here quite a bit. But in this case, it's definitely a really important move. So yeah, now we're going to find out what We Are Not Prepared is going to do. Are they going to commit for the boss, and will Chris be able to snipe the tower at the bot lane here, or how are they going to run this? Seems like everybody else is ready, and we are good to go. Yeah, that's a countdown if I've ever seen one. Counting down from 1,000. All right, go for it, dude. So, yeah, the owl moves in. Chris is at the bot lane. Boss has been leashed already. So now Chris is starting to move in, can burst the wave away, and they can do the same thing here. Johanna is rotating in, but still, this is giving Chris a really solid position down here, and he can start to push this back a bit further even. We have Lowell already going for a few of the mercenary camps, and he's going to try to take those down to just allow his team to push these lanes and maybe even rotate to catch a boss on their own. It would be pretty nice for them if they could actually pull that off, if they could steal one away. But we have now still the lanes completely committed to top lane. Of course, these towers have been taken down already earlier. And, well, we see another tribute on the map. And keep in mind that this is going to be the third tribute for TeamLiquid if they claim it. That would be the curse. They have a lead in experience, which grants them a stat advantage. Nothing really, like, too fancy, but it's a slight lead that you get out of the extra level. Tidaka should be careful. He's the only tank for the team. If he goes down or is severely damaged, then they will have a huge problem committing to the fight. Already Lucifron with a double stun. Well done here. The Owl hitting at the same time, which means that a lot of their rogue abilities, or a lot of the abilities in general, are now in cooldown. That could interrupt the channel, but they're still moving in. And they should be fine. Once again, the attack. Tidaka is getting attacked. He gets the Divine Shield. We have Phoenix and also the Hyperion immediately being used. And of course, the bombs on the side of Hiruka are being thrown out. Kel'Thas is trying to dish out the damage. Lucifron on the way back got a shield by Tassadar, but once again Gadamhead coming in and they try to use the Force Wall, and Vala is getting whirlwinded to death. They go in straight for Kel'Thas and they take him down too. It's a triple kill and Polata is on the run. You can run but you can't hide. He's gonna fall too. This is a quad kill and therefore not only Curse but also Boss. They have the level 13 talents. They don't even go for the tribute. They go for the boss first. They try to time it perfectly so that they get the maximum amount of damage out of this. Perfect play by TeamLiquid. It doesn't get any better than this. Phoenix and Hyperion got committed early on and then they started to roam around here, and now we have up at the top lane Lowell moving in with the boss. The rest of the team is already rotating away. They have their 13 talents with the overflowing light. We are seeing the spell shield for Sylvanas. It's brutal. This is an absolutely brutal scenario for We Are Not Prepared. The mid lane is getting wrecked right now. At the bot lane, we're seeing the waves pushing in as well, and Tassadar is starting to move down too. They have a 2-level lead now, and this is just a disaster for the all-Spanish team. We Are Not Prepared is definitely in trouble at this point. They lost on fort at the top lane, they're losing the fort in the mid lane, and at the bottom lane it doesn't look any better. We have Gadamhead moving in. Polata alone won't be able to do anything here. Already the attempt to just like zone him out a bit with a force wall, and he is completely pushed back. They're actually trying to go for him. Everybody's jumping in. He has to use the Divine Shield. Is just barely getting away, but all of the forts are now eliminated as the waves are taking care of the last one down to the bot lane, and that drops another level into their hands. Great play here on the side of TeamLiquid. Impressive force walls already on the side of Gadamhead. He played this extremely well and was able to just like zone them out during the fight, and especially when they were able to get these kills against Vala and also Kel'Thas, that just like started a chain there, and it was extremely strong. They take the camps on the map now. Looks like We Are Not Prepared is currently thinking that they go for boss. They attempted to use their level 13 talents here. That's a double spell shield. That's also the chain bombs. Hidaka is double checking, but the rest of the team moved away. They thought that there was no attempt to go for boss. They completely missed this. Now they're trying to move in again, but it's already too late. The boss is about to be down. Great force wall here by Gerd, making sure that nobody moves in. Very unfortunate timing for We Are Not Prepared. They were trying to double check, but they moved away a second too early. They would have seen what was going on, but they were trying to go for vision and also the siege camp. Now we have them with the Shrink Ray. That's the chain bomb, and we have one commitment to Giant Killer. Vala did not go for Giant Killer, but instead was more worried about the damage that is being pushed out. So she decided to go into the spell shield instead. The attack at the bot lane, and this is level 16 now, together with a boss that we are seeing used on the side of TeamLiquid. No escape. The Ranger talents, Stone Form, Cold Embrace, and Dimensional Warp have been used as the talents here in 16, and they go through the wall. They want to go for another keep here for the first one. In the mid lane, we still have a pretty big push here too. This will hurt eventually. Once more, Chris is in trouble though, but he gets shielded, and they are able to make this work. The boss is on the keep, but I think they will have to move away a bit too soon here. It's level 16 versus 14, and the talents are in their advantage, but the boss has been taken out, and therefore they won't be able to get this one in. Mid lane, though, has been attacked. And, well, not too much has been lost here. The towers are still down ammunition, and they have suffered some damage. But if you just look at the minimap, you can really tell that the entire minimap is currently in the hands of TeamLiquid. They are looking at an absolutely incredible spot in the game at this point. And we're having, again, Chris moving in for the next camp. They're just, like, trying to get one after another. They steal what's on the map. And there's only one Bruiser camp that, theoretically at least, we could see We Are Not Prepared take. And this is the one right over here, and they're already going for it. Or are they? They're a bit afraid, and for very good reason. I mean, it's 16 versus 15. It looks like they're more thinking about setting up a trap here. I'm not quite sure if that's going to work for them. Lucifron is also in position. We have the rotation around down to the bot lane. It seems like they're attempting to snipe not only Falcon, but also the keep. They are waiting for Falcon here. Muradin is not with them. There is a tribute. Now they start to move in. Chris is there, but Falcon is already on the way back. And Muradin should really have enough time to move to the tribute and take it. Great zoning effort by TeamLiquid. I mean, yes, they are 2 level ahead and have an extra talent, so it's a bit easier. But they are going to get this one without any problem. Oh, Falcon on the other hand, he's running straight into that phase, checks the bush, and is down before he can even turn around. And that was, of course, what TeamLiquid was hoping for. They jump in again, they get another stun off. They try to go for Polato here. He's moving away as we speak. There's the second stun. Divine Shield saves him, and they move away from the Phoenix, but they can go for the keep now if they want to. They have the lead again at the top lane. We see also the Siege Giants pushing, and down here with the help of Sylvanas, they easily sniped the first keep in the game 14 minutes in. 6 kills against 0. TeamLiquid, they've become so strong. They get stronger every day. That's the feeling that you really get here. And so far, they've done an incredible job in this tournament, in this first qualifier for the major Enter the Storm event in Europe. We have to the top lane again, the Siege Giants. TeamLiquid with another trap right here, trying to wait if somebody is attempting to take the Siege Giants or de-push something. But, well, impatience is a virtue. They move in and they take the Siege Giant camp immediately. We have a boss up on the map again, this time to the top, and with the level 16 talents, it looks like We Are Not Prepared feels confident enough to go for it. The tribute down here is getting completely ignored for now. Everybody moves to the top, but a very fast snipe against the boss, but Tyrande has already seen it. The problem is that We Are Not Prepared does not really feel up to the job. Oh, the force wall is actually not hitting properly. Gerd was a bit too fast on this one, not isolating Tidaka. They don't even attempt to go for the boss. Of course, there's also these Siege Giants to consider, and I mean, they are already starting to do quite some work at the core. And we have in the mid lane Lowell taking care of the camp that was taken a bit before that happened. Sylvanas with a channel on the tribute down to the bot lane, up here to the top. You see the disengage as Gerd Amherd is starting to move back right now. It's a great game that TeamLiquid is playing here, but We Are Not Prepared. They're not giving up. They didn't get a kill yet, and if they start taking a few kills in this game, then they can of course use that underdog bonus that they will have at this point to just close that gap in experience pretty soon. Kelthas, on the other hand, has been taken out up at the top. He was eliminated, and that's of course another opportunity for TeamLiquid to move in and go straight for the boss, which is exactly what they're currently doing here. They go in and burst it down, and they are so close to 20. It's 1 level they're missing. They're still 2 levels ahead, and they eliminated the keep at the bot lane. They can now try and take the one at the top. They actually move into the mid lane instead. There's another tribute on the map now too. They can claim it with Chris on his Sylvanas, and that will make it so much easier for the boss to really go through the towers at the top lane. They don't even send the rest of the team back. Lucifron is moving straight up to the boss, and they trap the rest. Here comes the force wall. Yeah, Blessed Chill has been used as well as the Hyperion, but it might not be enough for We Are Not Prepared to win this one. It's 19 versus 17. 16 talents for both of them. Lucifron taking a lot of damage here, but Avatar and Stoneform are immediately being used. And again, the zoning against Johanna. Divine Shield saves her, but they are on her already, and her Iron Skin trait is in cooldown. Down she goes. Level 20 is so close for TeamLiquid now. They will have their Storm talents in a second, and this keep is falling. No way of saving it. They might lose core if TeamLiquid goes in with a level 20 talents and gets another kill. Killer Chino, though, with good damage thanks to the strafe, and Lucifron, he jumps away in the last second, but Lowell, he's going full ham here. Lowell is going full YOLO. They have their 20s. He's using his hardened skin, and that's working really well for him. The Ignore Pain has been used by him here. The hardened shield variation that we are seeing on good old Sonya. But the second keep is down. The only thing that really can be done by We Are Not Prepared is to just wait, try to go to 20, which, well, it's 2 levels that they need here, and then start a comeback with a team fight. But so far they haven't even taken a single kill, and now they are cursed, which doesn't make things any easier, as you can imagine. We have great talents taken on 16. I mean, Imposing Presence, Benediction, using the bullseye here. This is like great stuff that they're showing at this point when it comes to their talents, and these guys are experienced. They have shown some really good rotations on the map, and that one fight could have turned in their favor, but TeamLiquid is just playing on a completely other level right now. These guys are so incredibly strong these days that it's extremely difficult to beat them, and the synergy between the players is improving every single day. We Are Not Prepared They have reached the semi-final and they are putting in a really nice effort, but they just didn't get a kill yet. And TeamLiquid feels so confident that they even engage the boss with them, perfectly well knowing that their opponent is just waiting for a chance to jump them. Is that going to be the moment when TeamLiquid was a bit too overconfident? Here comes the Hyperion, they're starting to move in. Shadowstalk has been used, Railing Arrow on the back line. Falcon pushes them back with a penetrating round, but we have the Divine Shield on Johanna, and she's going straight into the mid lane, once again trying to go for the Condemn against them. Lowell is moving away, or attempting to, but misses the spear here. Again, Tidaka isolated, uses his abilities as best as he can, gets a shield, but dies regardless. Lowell is moving in, and this is another great stun that we see from Tyrande. Down they go. Reyna and Bala are dead, and the rest of the team is now fair game. Like sharks in the water, they are circling around Kel'Thas and Uta. They go for the kill, and they will get it. Down goes Kel'Thas, and Polator is now also dead. This is game, ladies and gentlemen. 91% on the core, as the catapults already did quite a fair amount of damage, and now we're having 13 kills against 0, and we see TeamLiquid move in for the kill. They will reach the final here at the end of the Storm qualifier. Amazing play by them once again, and they take this game on Cursed Hollow and therefore qualify for the finals. Good job, well done, and GG. And that is it, everybody. GG and well played. The game's over, and therefore also the video for today here on Khaldor TV. We had another great Heroes of the Storm match, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Also hope that you enjoyed the commentary, of course. So thank you very much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up on YouTube. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to Khaldor TV yet, you should definitely hit that sub button as well. If you have some friends that like Heroes of the Storm, then definitely make sure that you show them the channel and also the video. There's a lot more where that came from. We're going to have like continuous content throughout the next few weeks with more Heroes of the Storm matches played, not only on the European server, but also on the North American server, in tournaments, in leagues, and more than that. So guys, once again, thank you very much for tuning in today. I hope that you had some fun. It was a pleasure casting for you. And I'm going to see you next time with even more videos here on the channel. So have a great day and see you soon. Bye-bye.